Today I call upon our members everywhere to lead out in abandoning attitudes and actions of prejudice. I plead with you to promote respect for all of God's children.
I'm almost there.
In response to President Russell M. Nelson's call for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to seek for ways to root out racism,
how do we help each other heal? We need each other to help save each other.
We're gonna run it one more time. Little Joseph, be ready.
dozens of dancers and vocalists took to the stage in the Little Theater at the church's conference center in Salt Lake City to perform and showcase the power of diversity.
But if you look beyond your eyes, you'll witness his image in my life.
This is about the gathering. Cultures coming together, people coming together, figuring out how do I love, how do I get along.
Artists likewise went to work creating beautiful works of art in their studios.
I want people to understand that we are all brothers and sisters, that we are all from the same family.
And sharing their masterpieces for the world to see. The aim for all, to build bridges of understanding.
It's telling that we are changing, that we know that there has to be a change, because if we are gathering everyone, we have to see everyone.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, you are worthy.
Each were part of the I Am celebration, a global journey to elevate diverse Latter-day Saint voices through art, music, and dance. It was a journey of I Am. Colorful, lively, and connected. What began as a desire to unite diverse populations through the arts culminated with a production and an art exhibit right here at the conference center. Early on, organizers knew exactly what they wanted to accomplish.
So the concept came first of how can we tell stories and get the artist's voice out, and then the title I Am from Stephen came.
My name is Stephen. I am a son of God, a husband, a father of 5, and a builder.
And that then launched the rest of the vision.
And what does that title, I Am, what does that mean to you, and how does that connect with your art?
I don't wanna be alone.
Now, come with us to see, hear, and feel the breath of life from the many colors of creation through this celebration of community.
So it's important to engage with artists of color so we can hear their stories and the way they tell history.
I sing because I'm happy.
History needs to be told from many perspectives. And
Truth.
truth
Yeah, has to be
told.
Many perspectives.
Truth has to be told. And when it's told by all of God's children, we understand what that truth is.
Do you want to testify? Hey! Do you want to testify? Hey! Do you want to testify? Get your own proof from on high.
It's important that our stories are told by us, so that they're therefore authentic, they are genuine, and that they're not always centered on trauma.
I am a trinity, divided into 3.
Being able to take a page that's blank and put words on it, and then suddenly create a story, create a feeling, create a narrative.
I am Puerto Rico! But grew up in Nueva York. I learned Spanish from birth. Big Bird taught me ABCs.
I'm grateful of the ability that art has to connect me, not only with other people, but also with myself and with my God.
From the island nation of Tahiti, we present to you an Otea Aita. This particular dance tells that if we step forward, step by step, together in love, we will find joy.
Each artist had their own reasons for participating and provided perspective from several unique points of view.
I think I feel a lot of anxiety when I'm writing, just because I want to get the thing out. But when it's done, I feel a lot of joy, and I feel satisfaction in using that energy and doing that labor for something that helps people to see something differently, but also feel. That's my main emotion. That's the main goal of when I write, is I want people to feel new things.
And then there's the melody portion.
I really have discovered a lot about myself. I feel like I discovered my role as a human in society. I've also discovered my role as a child of God, and I feel like I really do understand what it is, and not complete, I understand a little bit more about what it is that God does and what he feels and why he creates and what he's doing.
I do feel there's something in my soul, there's something that needs to come out, and it hasn't quite manifested yet, but each time I create a piece, each time I'm part of a collaborative process, I'm getting closer to it. I'm feeling a sense that it is developing, and I love the creative process because it's helping me reveal whatever is that needs to be revealed for me.
There's no way I could see myself going the rest of my life without doing this, without sharing myself, because it makes me feel alive. It makes me feel like it's my purpose. It makes me feel like I can connect with people in a way that I can't connect with them otherwise.
Recently, a call went out from the Center for Latter-day Saint Arts for Black, Indigenous, and people of color to submit works of art for the I Am Project. The desire was to share the global story of Latter-day Saints. Visual artists, writers, composers, and scholars from around the world responded. And from these works, an art exhibition and stage production were created.
I am the product of Americanization, healing, learning more about myself.
I am adopted. I am an older sister in one family and the youngest sister in another family. I believe in trying as many things as possible and failing at just as many too.
I am Puerto Rican, LDS. I am a writer, an actor, a poet. I also am a huge fan of cupcakes.
I am a Latter-day Saint born and raised in Hong Kong. I am an artist of faith. I am worthy of happiness and love, limitless in my potential.
I am Mila. I think that's something that I choose to be. People would probably say that I laugh all the time, and probably not always in the most appropriate ways.
I am a half Filipino artist looking to heal the world in my own small way. I am a believer in God and a believer in the goodness of humanity. I am determined to protect and nurture the good things I see.
The Loom for shared life. I identify as mixed. My mom's side of the family is from Punjab. They're religiously Sikh. On my dad's side, my family is Jewish from Eastern Europe, in Romania.
I'm an artist who uses art, drawings and paintings as a prominent tool in her journey of trying to understand herself and her identity.
I am very connected to my diverse background and heritage, but I do not look especially ethnic. I am a dreamer, I am passionate, I am mixed race.
I am a dog mom, a Mississippian, a friend. I am a scholar, a seeker of things that are good and that feel good.
I am Kalani Tonga Tukuafu. I have 5 kids. I really like color.
I am discovering that I am a person of color, a white assumed half Mexican American.
I am Ange Mombasa. I have a beautiful family with 2 daughters. I am also one of the leaders in my ward. I am the first counselor in the church, and I love music.
I am an artist. I am a silversmith. I am a public health educator. I am Danette.
I'm a Filipina, I'm an immigrant, and I'm an American. My family would describe me as Maarte.
I am ferruginous, which essentially means a mixture. I am exemious. I am creative. I feel like I'm so many things that way. I mean, we could keep going and going and going.
The I Am Project opened the door for Latter-day Saint creatives to share the reasons they create art.
In the inner city of Chicago, it was common at any point in time where we lived frequent gunshots, gangs. How do you escape the idea that you're surrounded by violence on a regular basis? And so, how did that influence me? It gave me a wide range of seeing things. And then once I went to dance, I took that same understanding and went with the wide range. And all I wanted to do was to make sure that people understood how I felt about life. Because to me, dance is life put to music.
The fruit of God's Spirit are these. I felt here I could find grandeur and worth and feel safe from all the lies that congregated in my brain, making me feel worthless while love tried to engage, turned to images to fill the holes in my heart's veins. This is my stage.
There's something in my soul that has an urgency to create. And I'm not sure what it is and where it's coming from, except for I do think it is coming from a deep sense of light, a deep sense to have something out in the world that's good.
Life is light, and all of us we live in. All the people in the world are part of light, part of the sun, and God is light, and we are part of that. That's why we have the energy to breathe, to talk, to do everything. We are being charged by that love of God shown by the light of the sun, so we can share that love. If myself I can feel this is dark side of mine, can I change this? Saying into myself, let there be light, that I may share that light to the other.
What I could say is art has created my life. Growing up, art was what I was surrounded by. And because I was surrounded by it, it's what created my life. It's what helped form me into the person I am today. Art is what is carrying me through life.
Take two. Ready, one.
Backstage, performers for the I Am production encouraged and celebrated one another as they shared the beauty of diversity. For some, the desire to see more diversity in art was deeply personal.
I am a creative, so whether it's film or music or books, I express myself through the arts. I just wrote a children's book with my wife, and it was not something that we had planned to do until we were at church one Sunday. And we walk around in the foyer sometimes. My son has a hard time sitting down for too long. And we're looking at the different pictures, and we're looking at the pictures with Christ and the angels blowing the trumpets. I love that picture. And he was telling me that there are no brown angels. I said, no, of course there are. They're not there. He's like, no, there's no brown angels. Because look. And he's pointing at the picture. I said, well, yes, in the picture there's no brown angels, but there are. And he just couldn't believe that because it's in the church, and the church is true, and that's the picture. And it became very difficult to try to navigate that conversation, to tell him that people like us are up there as well. And in the book, we talk about how we can all be like Christ and look like him. In the story, one of the lines is, what about the angels?
The angels? Will they stop and stare? Will they see that may not have the same color hair?
And the answer that the dad gives is that maybe you can draw one too. And they spend time drawing an angel. And I know that this whole project is just, it's telling that we are changing. That we know that there has to be a change, because if we are gathering everyone, we have to see everyone. And so I can't wait to see more art on the stages, more arts in the pictures, in the films, in the music that represents every single one of us.
When I create art, I always seem to feel closer to the divine, to our creator. Because what I'm doing is I'm taking raw materials and creating something beautiful out of them. And that's what our Heavenly Father does. And that's what our Heavenly Father does with us. Part of my Navajo culture is there are prayers, and one of the prayers tells us and lets us know that we hope for and ask and aspire to beauty to be in front of us, for beauty to be behind us, for beauty to be beside us and underneath us and above us, for beauty to be all around us. Growing up with that sort of worldview and hearing my elders, my grandparents speak about beauty in the rocks that surround us, in the bushes, in the trees that are around us, I tended and I wanted to, and I did see beauty in almost everything that was around me. I want people to understand that we are all brothers and sisters, that we are all from the same family, but our diversity, our differences in culture do nothing more than enrich the human race.
Yes! So when I'm dancing, I feel like there's certain parts of my brain that turn on. So for example, if I'm needing to learn the choreography fast, it's like my frontal cortex. If I'm needing to improvise, it kind of goes into the back of my brain. I just feel the sensory. But then there's that magic moment when you feel everything comes together. The body, the mind, the spirit, and you're not chasing the beats, you're not chasing the choreography, you're not worried about what other people are thinking, or you're not analyzing your body and needing it to be in a certain place and time, but you're really in this liminal space of when time stands still. And I think that's when I feel that spirit in me, that's like you are exactly where you need to be in time and space.
When I was a child, I feared the darkness of my own skin because of how others viewed and behaved towards it on account of their own frightening perceptions of my darkness. But when I became a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, those fears I carried with me from the time I was a little girl began to slip away, because I began to understand the light of Christ and its relationship to me. And I also began to realize that sometimes we don't recognize and appreciate the beauty of light until we see and experience its creation companion, the darkness. To me, the entity of darkness can be viewed in many positive ways. For example, we know that dark absorbs the energy of light more than something made of a lighter color. So, I choose to believe that my skin has the very unique capability to absorb the light of Christ, giving me energy and warmth that impacts and influences not only my life, but the life of others along the way. Light and truth is embedded in this skin, my dark skin, regardless of how it has been and is negatively perceived in society. And then, through this understanding, I've come to learn that my skin bears record of Christ. It's His creation. And He said, all things are created and made to bear record of Him. So I myself am a vessel of Christ, light, and truth. He also said, hearken and listen to the voice of Him who is from all eternity to all eternity. The great I am, even Jesus Christ, the light and the life of the world, a light which shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. Well, God is always good, y'all, because I'm beginning to comprehend it, and that is absolutely beautiful to me.
The journey to create art is different for everyone, but the power of art is undeniable. It can transform, educate, and inspire the human mind.
The project was to explore or to express what it is to be a person of color and a Latter-day Saint. I have to say that this project was probably one of the most difficult projects that I've ever done, because of what it required of me. The journey that it took me on, it was a year-long exploration into not only my heritage, but into some of my own personal issues.
I used to think I had no say about my racial identity, following the same pattern my immigrant ancestry believed was necessary in order to belong here. That pattern is to hide your race, to assimilate as much as possible in order to survive. With this knowledge, I've decided to claim my heritage. I need my heritage to not only survive, but to also thrive.
The sun shines and we think it's one color, but when you go deep inside, you see all these colors. So the sun, it's a miracle. It looks one, but it has colors.
How does race fit into religious depictions? As artists of color have started to put themselves into the artwork, people are saying, I don't see myself in your Christ. I look at my own mother, here, my beautiful mother. My skin is a different tone than hers. My eyes are a different color, different shape, but I still see my face in hers.
There might not be an answer to the question of where it could fit in, but I believe that my art is a visually appealing way of asking that question.
I really do believe that art shapes our world. It doesn't reflect it, it shapes it. And that's why we need it.
In the end, it was a time to come and see, come and hear, and come and feel the power in gathering together to promote respect for all of God's children.
In order for us to survive, we have to survive together. We cannot survive individually. I am because you are because we are. And I know it sounds like a wish, a fairy tale, but in order for us to survive, we need each other.
We are here to help each other, love God and love our neighbors, and that's a really important part of how you get to love your neighbors, by listening and learning from them.